What's going on, traders? Andrew O'Connell here with Pristine Capital. We got a beautiful move higher in the markets. The markets finally accepted the Fed's dovish pivot. We had a lot of growth stocks blasting off. I took some SPY calls off for over a 100% winner. We're going to talk about all the market's action, and we're also going to talk about my game plan for moving forward in this market. Before we do that, quick risk disclaimer: nothing in the video should be construed as investment advice or recommendations. Always follow your own trading plan, your own risk parameters. Don't YOLO into my trades or anyone else's trades. And also, I just want to give a big shout out to everyone in the Pristine Capital trading community, as well as everyone on YouTube that's been supporting the channel, watching the videos, taking a look at the Twitter content. You guys are awesome, and you guys are the ones that keep me making these videos. So thank you so much. Let's dive in to this price action. All right, so our headline indices, our box scores, all the good stuff. We had the S&P 500 finish up 2%. We had the NASDAQ QQQ finish up 2.77%. IWM small caps were up 2.25%. Dogs of the Dow lagged behind as usual, up 1.61%. And our ARC Innovation ETF was the big winner, up 3.9%. All of these indices closed at the upper end of their day's trading range. But notice we did not get all that much of a vol crush. And why could that be the case? My best guess is that tomorrow we have this PCE data, and it's coming in at 8:30 a.m. And remember, I believe that what's going on in the market, and for everyone that's been watching these videos, members, etc., this is really just our thesis coming to life, that these growth stocks are bottoming, inflation expectations have hit a peak, the Fed is turning more dovish, and this is the only thing that could really upset the apple cart, at least in the short term. We have this PCE coming out at 8:30 a.m. Definitely take a look for that, because that is going to be market moving. Anyway, so yeah, we did not get that much of a volatility crush. Very nice breadth across the board. We had 86.2% up volume, pretty fantastic, very healthy. And my trend model flipped from a +1 to a +3. So all systems go. I have a detailed, basically, playbook in terms of how I operate in the market. My trend model is at a +3. I just want to make sure that I follow that to a T. And this is our news. We've been going through this the past couple days. You'll notice all of the headlines now that you read today. I'm sure they talked about, like, oh, this dovish pivot. I'm like, here's why, the market's doing XYZ. Everyone that's a narratives-based investor, now that the market upset their expectations, now they have to come up with a new narrative. But we've been talking about this dovish Fed pivot for about a week now. So this is really old news for us. Finviz Heat Map looked absolutely fantastic today. I want to make sure that I don't anchor on this kind of trading day. But whenever you get it, hey, you love to see it, especially when you are fully long the market. Let's take a look at our sectors. Solar energy was up 3.43% today. Our top momentum slots are energy, solar energy, and European financials. KWeb, these Chinese technology stocks, they were our big winner for today, up 7.49%. Alibaba reported earnings earlier today. And yeah, just some strength across the board. Really nice action. And the worst performer on the day was the gold miners, down 0.61%. Style factors, we had exactly as we would envision it. We had the momentum style factor leading the pack, up 3.02%, as well as the high div low vol, or not high div low vol, excuse me, the high beta stocks were up 4.19%. Very nice move. All right, let's take a look here. We did have some earnings after the bell. We will talk about those shortly. To be honest, these companies that reported earnings, most of them didn't really have that big of a move. And it's not like, what we had the other day, Nvidia reporting or Apple reporting, anything of that nature. Now let's take a look at the headline indices and see where we're at. So look at this team, this teal downward trend line that we've been watching for quite a while. We broke out above it, and we also broke above this 20-day simple moving average. So all those perma bears, this negative sentiment, elevated put to call ratios, retail investors owning their highest amount of crash protection puts since the year 2000. Naeem exposure index being incredibly low at like a 19 reading. All of these things, CNN fear and greed index, all the research that we've been doing, this really culminated in a move above this 20-day simple moving average. And remember, this 20-day This is a key trigger level for CTAs and trend followers. So now, whether you like it or not, if you didn't love this market at 38.50 and you thought that it was overvalued, down here at 3,800, well, you're going to love buying this market up at 4,000 plus. So yeah, again, assuming that the PCE data plays ball, I do think we could continue to see some more upside. And really, once the masses decide, oh my gosh, now it's time to load the boat again, that's honestly probably going to be the time that we want to lighten up, because the Fed still is reducing their balance sheet. But yeah, pretty fantastic day on the hourly chart. We did move above this weekly value, or a high of 4,010.25. Now remember, if, and this is a high if, like this happens all the time, I've seen these time and time again, the odds of retesting the breakout in this 4,000 level are very high. But rest assured, every retail punter is going to panic if that does happen. If it does happen, I'm not going to be panicked in the slightest bit. We just have to see, these wiggles in the market, they're perfectly normal. All right, let's take a look at our NQ. NASDAQ finished out, nice strong day. NASDAQ is just under the 20-day simple moving average. Russell 2000 out above the 20-day simple moving average. And again, a lot of people that were screaming market crash were doing so as the Russell 2000 was making a higher low, and a lot of the most risky stocks in the market were putting in bottoms. So really wild stuff. To be honest, like, it's crazy because, our edge with Pristine Capital being trend followers and being market structure traders, it's not like we're like, oh my gosh, we're the incredibly smart money, we're coming up with our big economic dissertation and making investment decisions, but we're just trying to see the landscape as best as we can. To be honest, the way that I see markets is, I'm not playing the game, I'm playing the players. That's really how I look at it. Dow Jones also was above the 20-day simple moving average. Pretty nice move for the Dow. Now, let's talk about this real quick. Our VIX. It's kind of odd that the VIX was only down 3.07%, considering we had a plus 2% move in the S&P 500. And that is likely, again, because of that PCE data. And take a look. That is why I actually closed out my SPY calls. So let's go over to some of my trades for today. So what did I do today? So I noticed something very interesting within the crypto space. This morning I was looking at crypto. I was like, oh my gosh, these crypto assets, they're kind of crashing. This doesn't look good. We're actually breaking down. I was like, this could be a horrible thing. So I'm looking at that in the morning and I see, oh my gosh, we're putting in these bad candles. And look at this. Bitcoin started spilling below the low end of this range, as well as Ethereum, which is showing some relative weakness compared to Bitcoin. But what I noticed as soon as the market opened, I'm currently long this crypto miner, Hut 8 Mining. I noticed Hut 8 Mining only gapped down like 2%, even though like Ethereum was down like 8 and Bitcoin was down like 6 or something. I was like, that's odd. And I also noticed this like BITO. The gap down, like it just happened very quickly, and it wasn't really the extent to which I would normally expect. So really just when I saw Hut 8 Mining and I saw that action, I was like, hey, this is odd. There's a disconnect here. And for that reason, I think we could be bottoming in Bitcoin. So I ended up putting on these BITO July 15th. This is the Bitcoin futures ETF. 18 strike calls for $1.77. So far, these are up about like 20%, which is pretty good. And then what did I do after seeing that the VIX wasn't really coming off and honestly just getting 100% move in these calls? I closed out my SPY June 17th, 385 calls for $23.68. I paid $11.45 for these. And I wrote here, took this trade on OPEX after waiting for a pivot from bearish to bullish momentum. This is what an A+ setup and execution looks like for me. One of my top priorities is just making sure I'm taking my time, and I'm a swing and position trader. I'm not a retail punter. Most of the content that I see out on Twitter, it's like traders that basically, if the market's green, they're trying to chase everything with zero DTE call options and stuff like that. They're just like flipping their bias based on like every 5-minute candle. I want to make sure that I'm not doing that and that I'm playing like a professional. So this one, pretty stoked, got that over 100% return. That is not something that happens to me every single day, as you guys know if you've been watching these videos. So yeah, just honestly grateful that happened. And yeah, it's a good day, but honestly, a lot of times when you get the really good days, that's where you can make your biggest mistakes. So I'm trying to just stay like level-headed and honestly just, hey, next play, next point, whatever you want to call it. And then after doing that, I actually got long some SPY June 17th 403 puts, playing for a small scalp. I saw that we were really extended away from the VWAP, and I ended up closing these out for like a very small winner, literally like 21 cents. At a certain point I looked and I was like, what the heck am I doing? My trend model just flipped positive. I don't want to get caught playing in traffic here. But yeah, got a very small win on that one as well. And then my other trade for today, Celsius. This was one of the names from our Pristine Capital weekend watch list. And Celsius, I ended up taking a target. We got up to my target level. And so I said, hey, I'm going to close out a third of this. And then I moved my stop up on the rest of the position to break even. And this was our original trade setup. We sent this out to Pristine Capital members. And yeah, we hit the target, which was the 200-day simple moving average. So I was like, let me just for prudence take at least some of this off. So yeah, definitely go ahead to pristinecapital.net if you're interested in getting the weekend watch list, if you're interested in getting my trade alerts, my live market analysis. Yeah, just go ahead, feel free to sign up. And yeah, we'd love to have you. It's really a professional trading group. This is not the group for you if you just want to like see action every single day and just always be clicking buttons and really just get like the gambling thrill. But if you're a pro trader and you really just want like some extra expertise on technical analysis, market structure, anything like that, or you just want to work in a group setting, honestly, just come join us. And then what else do we have? So this leads into what's my game plan moving forward. Now my game plan moving forward right now, because I was accumulating most of my positions in these growth stocks as we were hitting our capitulation lows, I'm in the fortunate position where I'm kind of sitting with, like aces, where most of my positions are in the money, took some targets today, whatever. My primary goal is making sure that if this market just turns right back around and goes down, I'm not losing money on any of those trades. So I'm not going to let any of those go back below my break-even point. So moving my stops up is key, making sure that I have some targets in mind, that I can take some targets, put some money in your pocket, because that's the only way you actually have any trading results. You can't just let these things go forever. At some point, you got to put it in your pocket. And then my homework for tonight is I want to scan the market for potential leadership stocks. Because if this is, let's say like we get a nice move higher in the markets, let's just say for instance, we're going to start to see more and more stocks setting up. And now at this point, now that the rally has some legs, we should be able to see which stocks are really separating from the pack. So I'm going to be sending out a note to all Pristine Capital members. It's going to be out either later tonight or early tomorrow morning with some leadership stocks. And this is going to help you as well. Let's say you aren't like fully allocated in the market yet, and you're like, man, I sort of missed some entries. I still want to like add some exposure to my portfolio. This will just be like a running list of potential market leaders that I'm going to send out. With that being said, that about does it for this market recap video. Once again, thank you so much for watching this content. If it's your first time watching, or you've been watching for a while, definitely hit the subscribe button. It would really help support the channel. And with that said, enjoy the rest of your evening, everyone. I'll see you all tomorrow.